Give me a yeah.
Yeah.
You're recording.
It's hard to live on.
Those ones are better too. Great. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing's wrong. He's back.
Yeah, I'm back, everybody.
I'm back. And you looking at the camera. What's up, bitches? Oh, cheers. It's good to see you again, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. Well, I would say we have a lot to catch up on, but I think we're all fucking caught up.
Are we?
I don't know. I mean,
last time I was here was 3 jobs ago.
You work, I work, we just work. And we kind of hang out when we can and
Well, you and I are caught up.
just work, yeah. But they're not.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know shit.
Scotty doesn't know.
Oh, God. I'll be honestly surprised if anybody catches that reference. If you do, please comment on it. I'd love to know. 3 jobs ago. That's right. Where,
Last time I was on the show, I was still working at Ride Now.
fucking right now. Yeah, I forgot about them already.
So, left Ride Now, went over to Big O Tires, and got fired so that they could bring in the owner's son to fill my position.
Oh, my God.
And they quote-unquote fired me because I wasn't catching on fast enough.
That's what they said.
So now I work at a major dealership, and my manager there was like, "Oh my God, you caught on so fast." Well, clearly, when I went to go pick up my last check, I was like, "All right, now I know why I was fired."
Right. Yeah, okay. I get the picture now.
It's okay. I've since found out that they have committed insurance fraud.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Both of their buildings burned down in the last couple of years.
So that was fake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was talk about it.
Yeah, the owner actually went to jail. At least that's what I've heard. You can't always trust the grapevine, but
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me. If it's the owner that I think it is, then I could see it.
yeah,
But I don't know. We're not gonna dig into that on here.
we won't name names.
Yeah, no naming today. Oh shit, man. But you're happy there?
Yeah, at the dealership level.
You're doing fucking work.
Yeah,
And I get the spoils of it. I have a dealership in now.
yeah. It's nice when you can get factory parts at reasonable prices, huh?
It just so happens to be a coincidence that we all drive. We have 4 Dodges between us, but whatever.
It's a Dodge family.
Mopar, no car. We're all happy about it.
I'm not complaining.
No. It's confusing to the rest of our friends that they're like, he works so much. I'm like, yeah, he's fucking doing work. Where's the block here?
Yeah. It's being a service writer is not a 9 to 5 job.
No.
First of all, you're there when the dealership opens till the dealership closes, basically, at least on the service side.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there until from 7 a.m. till 5. It drops off real quick from 5 to 6. So each person on the drive has a night that they close, so stays till 6. But oftentimes you're there writing up warranty claims because you can't do it during the day because people keep coming in and interrupting you, which is fine.
I was going to say the one thing I learned early on working at dealerships, I was never a writer, but I witnessed just by mere coincidence that if they wanted to make money, then you got to take that extra fucking mile. And you got to make sure you get your shit done. Yeah,
there's a couple of service writers that come in extra early in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so I'd rather stay at night.
Absolutely not.
One of the service writers sometimes will be there at 3 in the morning.
Jesus.
Yeah. Nope. So there are nights that I stay till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. So that's where I make up my time.
Hey, fuck it, man. There's no better time.
Yeah.
So and you live fairly close to work, so.
Oh yeah, 7-minute drive.
Right. It's easy enough. I think about doing it. I think about making that jump, believe me. Every time you tell me. We need mechanics. Motherfucker. Shit.
Yeah, no, I've done the whole commuting to work, and I hate it.
I'm kind of over it, man.
I love driving for work. Don't get me wrong. I miss my job at Right Now. Not, I guess not because of the job itself, but you know the places I got to go to, the people I got to see, the people I worked with were pretty cool.
Right.
So you know I miss that a little bit. But this is a big boy job, so
It can be, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you treat it as such, then I know guys, I still find guys that I worked with, 20 years ago, still doing the same job.
yeah,
Maybe take you to a different place, but it's not going to be much once you're doing this.
yeah.
So,
Being a service writer, you know, it's something you can do as a career.
right.
It's something you can retire from.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
And the thing that's cool about watching you do it, and I'm really curious to see how in the long term it fucking plays out, because one of the biggest reasons I was so worried about it growing up was the way it was portrayed was as a salesman. And that might be an old school tactic because, like I said, when I was growing up, I wanted to try it. But people made it sound so much like a salesman job, so I never did. And you definitely are probably not going to use that. I don't see that in you. You're better with your words and your thoughts that go with them to convince people why they should be doing what they need to be doing already.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to sell them on shit they don't need.
yeah. So it's
going to be interesting to see.
it's a sales job, but you're selling people
Right.
on taking care of their cars.
Right.
You know, so these are things that they're supposed to be doing anyway.
It's not something they want, it's something they need.
Yeah. Like you have to change your oil every so often. Intervals now are 7,500 to 10,000 miles.
They can be, yeah.
So, you know, every 7,500 to 10K, you have to change your oil.
Mm-hmm.
So people come in for that, but they neglect the other fluids in their vehicle. There is no such thing as a lifetime fluid.
No, absolutely not.
And automakers have created these sealed transmissions, and they tell you the fluid is good for the life of the vehicle. But if you look at the fine print in there, it'll say like the life of the warranty, or this is what we expect the first owner. This is how long we expect the first owner to keep the vehicle, and that's what we consider the life of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So lifetime fluid is not lifetime fluid.
No.
So every 50,000 or so, you need to be changing your coolant, your trans fluid, this and that, differential fluid. Drive lines, they don't have any filters in them. Everything else, aside from the cooling system, but that's just it's just coolant. Everything else that is an oil base has a filtering system to it, except for your driveline, your transfer case, and your front and rear differential. So any particulate that's created from that just sits there in that bath.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important to change it so that you get rid of that particulate.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that kind of sucks about that stuff is what they'd call I really don't think that there's anything on a vehicle anymore that's not considered a maintenance item. With those things that don't have those filters, a lot of people don't realize that those particulates, quote unquote, are going to do more damage the worse they get.
Yeah.
And
nobody
tells you this shit.
Yeah, and fluids break down over time,
They
especially in these modern vehicles where they're using multiple different types of metal. It creates, and you're passing electricity through it.
Oh yeah.
It creates like an electrolysis effect, it's exactly what it is, and it changes the pH of the fluids that are in it. So it literally creates acid where there should not be acid. Acid,
corrosion, fluid mixtures, moisture. A new world of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
So
I'm a firm believer that these days there should be more information required before people can be involved with these pieces of machinery.
Yeah.
I really do think that things need to be more knowledge based than they are, and maybe it's just my side of the industry because of what I see and what I deal with.
My favorite line ever is the owner's manual used to show you how to adjust the valves.
Sure did.
Now it tells you not to drink the contents of the battery.
I hope you're fucking with me.
No. Have you looked in a new owner's manual? There's nothing about maintenance in there, but it tells you not to drink the contents of the battery.
I think that if you have to really rethink not drinking them, then maybe you should.
Yeah.
Maybe you fucking should take a sip.
That's,
I shouldn't say that.
Darwin Award.
Don't fucking drink the sulfur. Please don't drink the sulfur. Not on my account anyway.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, as a whole, people aren't as mechanically inclined as they used to be.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
They don't technically need to be now.
Yeah.
But that's under the premise that they take things to the dealer like it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Which also doesn't happen.
No. Because, so there's such a bad rap in being a service advisor as well.
There really is.
Because over the years, there have been products that have been sold by dealers that are snake oil. So, like, we run a line of BG products that are excellent for your vehicle. They add to the lubricity. They're basically an advanced, concentrated version of the add packs that go into current oils, but its current oils don't have enough of it in it to go the intervals that they're expecting out of these oils. So what we supply is these BG products that are basically concentrated forms, and so we add it to your fluids, and it makes them last longer. It makes them more lubricative, just all around better. We take an oil change that can go 7,500 miles, and you pour this BG products motor oil additive in it, and now you can go 10,000 miles and not have to worry about it because we've fortified that oil.
Right.
But over the years, there's been so many products that are snake oil and claimed to do that, but they don't actually do that. And so when you're trying to push these extra products that are to help people, then, they're like, oh, I don't want that. And then it was so bad at one point, that people stopped listening to their service writers and they just drove their cars.
Right.
And for as long as they owned the car, it was great. So they were like, oh, well, I don't actually have to do any of these fluid services because the vehicle was fine.
Right.
My vehicle lasted 100,000 miles. Well, yeah, you traded it in and bought a new one. But the next person that got that vehicle, it broke down on them in less than 50,000 miles because you didn't maintain it. Which isn't the first owner's problem, I guess. That's why secondhand cars that are sold with maintenance records are worth more.
Right. And that's a whole nother topic of conversation, getting into the lifelong contracts of financing a car. That's a whole nother fucking bag of tricks that we're not even going to delve into.
Yeah. Most people own a car for 5 to 7 years these days.
Right. And not only that, but the longevity and the life expectancy on said cars typically is only 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll speak as vaguely even to say as my truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's financed for 7 years. Do I expect it to last it?
Well, if you take care of it.
If I take care of it and don't do the things that it's intended to do at this point, then probably. But I'm also getting down to the quality of everything these days, and it's just...
Yeah, it's funny. If you use your truck the way that they advertise it in the truck advertisements...
It'll probably be fine.
Well, no, if you go off-roading the way they do in the truck advertisements...
Oh, dude, some of those guys get rowdy. Yeah, they're lifting tires and shit.
Like, man, that was fun. That looked fun. Let's do it.
I'll do it, sure.
And then you go do it, and you hear all these noises the truck makes, and you're like, oh, God.
It's funny to have both ends of the reliability spectrum on such a weird scale.
Yeah.
Having both the trucks that I do, one with extremely high miles that's been, like you said, 10 years worth of records speaks worlds.
Yeah, meticulously maintained.
Right.
And it's got 300,000 miles on it almost.
Yeah.
And it still runs just as good as my truck does with half the miles.
Still runs just as good as the new one.
Yeah.
So, I love it. There's a million different ways those conversations can go.
Yeah.
But,
and then you got people that come in with 75,000 miles and their car's falling apart. And I'm like, well, you didn't do anything to it.
Right. The other car that I got my hands on, the Caliber, should be a prime example of that, because 9 times out of 10 those cars,
yeah,
they're throwaways. But for some reason I found this fucking unicorn.
Yeah.
One that's been taken care of. It's only got 70,000 miles, but
well, in the mid 2000s, Chrysler did lifetime care for their vehicles, and there's a couple people that bought into it, and there's a couple of people that frequent my dealership that have that product, the lifetime care,
and they still honor it.
Fuck
yeah.
To the best of their abilities. It's getting hard to find parts for those cars.
Sure.
But oddly enough, the couple of cars that keep coming back with the lifetime warranty are the Chrysler Sebrings, the Chrysler 200s, and the Dodge Avengers.
I've seen that.
And these are cars that are typically just shit cars.
Was it like the early Avengers?
Yeah, the 08 Dodge Avenger.
Yeah, the earlier ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and so normally you see these things on the road and they're falling apart, but these things come to the dealership and they're immaculate.
I love it.
And so it just shows, if you take care of your vehicle, it'll take care of you. But most people don't want to spend the money on the maintenance.
Most people let it go down to, it needs this now because it's broken.
Yeah.
And now I'll fix it. Or won't, because it's too much money.
Yeah. Or a lot of people buy beyond their needs or beyond their means.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of people who, have Dodge Challenger, Scat Packs, and Hellcats, and, it comes time to do maintenance items, and it's like, oh, I can't afford that.
God, this is a conversation I've had with 1.5 million people about their purchases. I'm like, this is not even a joke either. This is from my past. But okay, you have this Maserati. Have you done any maintenance to it?
Yeah.
Are you prepared for that? Well, no. What do you think it's gonna need? I'm like, well, eventually it's probably gonna need fucking brakes. Let's just start there.
Yeah. Well, and the higher end the car, the worse it gets.
It's strictly just a bill at that point.
A Bugatti Veyron needs parts regardless of whether you drove it or not.
Oof.
They have parts that have expiration dates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And in order to maintain the vehicle to the proper specs, I think you got to spend I think it's a minimum of like $10,000 a year just to replace the parts that are considered expirable items. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Continuous race prep.
Yeah. and so, it's not that way with all cars. But, when you have a car that sits in your driveway most of the time and doesn't drive anywhere, then, yeah, eventually rubber products are going to start to fail.
Right.
Especially out here in Arizona where it's, it's 115 degrees outside in the middle of the summertime. But underneath that engine bay, even with the car off, it's 150, 160 because it creates an oven out of it.
Oh, yeah, all that metal just gets hot. And that's definitely something a lot of people don't think about.
And it dries out the rubber.
It sure does.
And so, just because a car's low miles doesn't mean it's in good shape.
This is the exact reason why my low miles car with brand new looking tires needs tires.
Yeah.
Because guess what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
They're rotting.
People hate buying tires.
I fucking hate it. Yeah, I'm already not happy about it. I'm already looking for some wheels just for no reason.
Yeah.
But
hoping to get a decent set of tires that come with the wheels.
Yeah, exactly. You already know. Oh, shit, man.
But, yeah, see, I had one guy come in, and he was like, here's my car. Call me when it's done. Do whatever you need to do with it. And I'm like...
Are you sure?
Are you sure about
Yeah.
that?
Do you want to renege on that one? Because you might want to.
So I pulled out the maintenance book and I say, based off of miles your car is due for all these. He goes, yep. Anything else you find in the inspection, just do it. And, we did $7,000 worth of brakes on his Jeep Trackhawk.
Folks, for the constant listeners, that would be the story I refer to.
$7,000 for Brembo brakes, and that's just pads and rotors. That's not the caliper.
Woo, doggy.
Or the backing plates or any of that. It's literally just the maintenance items.
God.
Yeah. And so, you got people buying these Trackhawks and Scat Packs and Hellcats, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's cool. I own one. I can say I did it. And then it comes time to put a set of brakes on it, and they can't afford the brakes. Sorry, but you bought a $100,000 car.
Man, dude, it's so true because every fucking time I have to pick up one of these modeled cars, we can vary from Chevy to Dodge to Ford. Tires.
Yeah.
Every fucking time I pick them up, they all need tires. I can only imagine how far that list goes. But
my best friend growing up, his dad had a C6 Corvette. He thought he was hot shit. He made a lot of money, so it wasn't nothing to him. But he lived a mile from the school, straight shot, one road. He'd come out, take the Corvette, pick up his son from school, burn tires leaving the school, heading back to the house. And it was cool. We all loved it. We were, in middle school or elementary at the time. And then he had to buy his first set of tires.
Oof. And those are probably, well, if it was a C6, they were under 300 series, but...
Yeah. But they were the run flats.
Oh. Oof.
Yeah. He had to put $2,000 worth of rear tires on that vet. And he stopped doing burnouts in front of the school to show off for the kids.
Figured it out real quick.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. He could afford it, but when he realized just how expensive it was, he was like, okay, maybe I won't do that.
I'll dial it back.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it's a lifelong lesson that you got to pay to play.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're doing. You and I, maybe that's why we fucking got a little bit older and we started. Yeah, we're like, well, we don't need to go off roading this weekend.
Yeah.
We can relax this weekend.
Oh, I miss it. I want to go up to Flagstaff and play in the snow.
Oh, I fucking miss it too, man. But believe me.
But I'm like, fuck, I need money.
Yeah. Nah, it's just not a good idea. That's funny. Well, I'm glad to hear you're learning a lot.
Yeah.
And you're learning the ins and outs and the secrets that shouldn't be spoken of.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot of secrets. I mean,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's some price markup on there, but aside from that,
there has to be. You guys got to get paid. Everybody's got to get paid.
Yeah, everybody's got to get paid. We gotta open this dealership up. You got to pay the overhead. You got to pay for the air compressors that are running 24/7.
Yep.
You got to pay for all these fancy lifts that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pay for the maintenance on those. Nowadays, because we're getting EVs in, now we need special racks, special charger stations. We bought a brand new forklift just for helping to install batteries in these electric vehicles when they start to fail.
Oh, because everything's underneath?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
And you can't... It's difficult to support these battery packs basically any other way or move them around. I mean, they're a couple 100 pounds a piece. Most of them weigh as much, if not more, than a motor.
Yeah.
And you can't puncture them and you can't drop them.
Nope.
So we got a new forklift for that. But yeah, it takes money to pay for all that, and then plus the technician's time, the lot porters, the service advisors, the managers. I mean, you gotta pay for all these people somehow.
Mm-hmm. The immaculate service doesn't come for free.
Yeah, Yeah, and people come in, and unfortunately, I wish we could see people faster, but we're 3 to 4 days out on a diagnosis, and unfortunately, just the way the industry works is you schedule your appointment, and that appointment is with the service advisor, not with the technician.
Right.
So you show up, you make an appointment, and your vehicle goes into a waiting queue to be seen by the technician. And
on that, I want to stop you real quick. I want to acknowledge something that I've been pushing the whole time I'm a tow truck driver. I'm tooting my own horn here, but it's for you guys. When I pick up a car and they're going to the dealer, first thing I ask them before I fucking load it, did you already contact your dealership? Did you already make sure they know what's coming? So what happens when somebody drops off some shit and you're like, well, I didn't know it was coming. Then they're, on the back burner for God knows how long?
Yeah.
And it's their fucking fault?
Yeah.
I'm trying, man.
No, it's helpful. It's real. And a lot of people don't understand that, the industry is backed up.
Sure is now.
Especially with parts. Every time the automakers union goes on strike, then, we get pushed back for parts. They release these recalls, and they don't have the parts for the recall yet. So you got people coming in, oh, my vehicle's got a recall. Well, yeah, join the list of the other 1,000 that have a recall on their vehicle that we can't get parts for.
We'll get you scheduled.
Yeah. And people hate leaving their vehicles. They absolutely hate it. And unfortunately, we've got so much volume that we're at our maximum for our loaner cars.
Yeah.
So we're not able to offer people loaner cars like we should be able to.
Yeah, I was just going to dabble in that. 90% of these fuckers that I pick up, I'm sorry, I shouldn't refer to people like that. 90% of my customers that I pick up, because I get their life story and they tell me, oh, I'm just going to go with you and I'm going to get a loaner from the dealer. And I try to you know what? How about this? How about I'm just going to take your car. Do you have a service writer you're working with? Which, by the way, most people don't even know what a service writer fucking is.
Yeah.
Okay, a service consultant. I'm like, service consultant, service liaison. I don't know what you want me to call it. The guy you talk to about your service. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't have anybody. Okay, so I'm going to go talk to a person for you, and you just stay here so that way you don't need a loaner.
Yeah.
And most of the time I can get away with it. Most people are like, you can handle it? I'm like, yeah, I will deal with it. Just, I will take it to the dealer.
Yeah.
And sometimes people want to go. Prime example, the last time I got to come and see you. And they think that you're just going to hand them the world. And you're just going to make it all better because their shit has problems.
Yeah.
And that's not how that works.
No. I can't. I am not fixing your vehicle.
Right.
My technician can't get to it today. He's not going to fix it today.
Especially, didn't we drop that at 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, nope.
I mean, she kind of knew it was going to have to stay because I had talked to her the week before.
That's good because they live far.
Yeah.
They live real far.
Well, and the last time she came to see me, she just happened to be in the area. But she came in and her check engine light had come on, and she had stopped by O'Reilly's, and they scanned the check engine code, and it came up as a misfire. And so O'Reilly's has this fix finder on their computer that tells you, oh, this is the most common fix for this type of issue. And that's what it's going to recommend as the fix. So, of course, O'Reilly's told her she needed spark plugs. Well, spark plugs these days, these double platinum laser iridium Star Wars level spark plugs.
The ones that have like 4 fucking posts.
Yeah, they're not cheap. They're sometimes as much as $50 a pop. So, she had a V6 Jeep, and I could have easily just sold her 6 spark plugs. But I told her, hey, it might not be your spark plugs. Let me get it in for a diagnosis. And it was right before Christmas. And so I go, I noticed that the light has gone out. do you want to leave it with me now, or do you want to reschedule at a more convenient time? And so we ended up talking about her vehicle and talking about when would be more convenient, and we agreed that after the holidays would be more convenient. And so she took her vehicle. And obviously spark plugs aren't going to fail so fast that they just leave you stranded.
Right. Yeah, that's not a thing.
And you picked up the vehicle after it had completely died driving down the road and would not restart.
Which I think you called the issue before I got there.
Yeah. And so we're diagnosing it now to try to figure out what's wrong with it.
And I spread the word to the rest of the guys about not jumping them.
Yeah.
Because that'll fall on us if...
Yeah, so unfortunately, it did pop the main fuse array. So
easy fix.
Easy, but it's $50 for the... Well, it's $50 for the part my cost, so...
It's probably like $100.
Yeah. and then plus the labor to replace it.
Right.
This main fuse array, basically all of the electronics are hooked up to. And it's not a huge part, but it takes some time to get it out of where it's at and reinstall it. So it's not cheap. And then she needed 2 batteries on top of that because her vehicle's a dual battery system.
Right.
So both batteries happen to be bad.
Whoops.
But so we're starting there, and then we're going to diagnose the check engine light from there.
The running issue.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So, but until then, we don't know.
Well, I was going to bring up some other stuff, but I think in light of the fact that we've kind of gone on this topic for a while, maybe we'll just keep on, and this will just be a dealership woes episode.
Okay.
But it's kind of fun.
But yeah, so I had talked to her and actually been a human with her.
Mm-hmm.
That she felt like, hey, anytime my vehicle needs service, I'm going to bring it back to this guy.
Well, that's fucking important.
Yeah.
On a couple of levels.
Yeah. So, my goal as a service writer is not to make the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Not right off the bat, anyway. Like, I want to make a ton of money.
Sure.
But I'm not going to make it by shoving products down your throat or lying to you. I'm gonna make a friend out of you. I'm gonna be like, hey, this is what I truly believe is the best for your vehicle, and explain how the products work, and get people to come back because they choose to come back to me.
And down the line, that's going to be a long-term thing. When there's a work shortage for a lot of other guys, you might just still have a laundry list of people that are only willing to go to you.
Yeah.
And that's worth talking about.
God forbid the market crashes here soon.
Right.
Because if the market crashes and people can't afford to take care of their vehicles, then all of a sudden, all the dealerships, there's not going to be a wait at the dealership because nobody can afford to take their car in.
But people are going to know who they trust,
mm-hmm.
and that's going to be worth it.
And so they're still going to come back to the same people that they've been going to.
Fuck, I still owe you money. Oh, I forget about it, but I do. See, he's my trusted service liaison.
Payment plan hasn't started officially yet.
We should hit him up. If you're in the Phoenix area. I don't know if I should say your location. Just get a hold of me and I'll tell you where he works.
If you need service on your Mopar product, let me know.
Hell, you can bring anything else you want too.
Yeah. Yeah, we service off-brands.
They have off-brand dealers. Off-brand dealerships. I'm so fucking biased.
They have other brands.
Yes, they have other brands. I'm so fucking biased. It's so bad. They deal with the other guys too.
That's one thing. Like, we have our mainline techs, and they only want to deal with mainline cars.
Right.
So we've got a couple of guys on each team that are off-brand techs, and we literally call them as such. Like, they're an off-brand tech because they're willing to work on anything.
And that's what I was when I worked at Ford.
Yeah.
I knew, I did a lot of Ford shit, recalls and shit. There was a lot of main streamline shit that I did, but as far as my job title, I was a used car tech.
Yeah.
So they'd bring me anything else, which was also not the greatest thing ever, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, we've got our used car techs, but we've got off-brand techs on our main line.
That's nice to have.
Yeah.
So it's for all these for all these Chevys that are not surviving out there.
Yeah.
You know, would you guys deal with that shit if it came in?
Oh yeah. As long as it's something that we can, physically diagnose and work on. So there are some things like computer issues, electrical issues. You need brand specific software to deal with.
Very true. They all have their own fucking diagnostic software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this diagnostic software is, it's $3,000 per license per year to have it on a dealership level. So there's a reason why if you go to your Mopar dealership, they don't have the software to work on your Chevrolet.
Right.
Because, if you're going to carry it for one brand, why not carry it for all the brands?
Which you just mentioned like, probably $500,000 worth of shit.
Yeah, and now you're looking at $500,000 a year in software subscriptions.
Yeah.
So,
per location.
Yeah. so that is a tidbit that people should know is you have to even if you develop a relationship with a service advisor at another dealership who may not service your particular brand, or let's say you've developed a relationship and your service advisor moves to a different dealership, he can still take care of the hard parts on your vehicle. But occasionally, you still have to go back to your home dealership. The brand of your car.
Yeah.
Because that other dealership can't see the recalls, can't see the software flashes. So when those come up, you still have to get those taken care of at your brand of dealership.
And the thing that sucks nowadays too is, unfortunately, a lot of the big issues that pretty much any manufacturer is going to have its own set of shit. It goes against everything I was just saying, but the thing that sucks is when you take your Chevy to a Chevy dealer, they're going to know and they're going to understand what to look for more so than a Chrysler dealer. Vice versa, you take your Hyundai to a Ford dealer, and the Ford guy may not exactly know exactly what the problem is just by listening to it, whereas the Honda guy might.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but that's just how things roll these days. And then, like you said, the softwares, they're not going to be able to dig quite as deep. I actually had that issue, as you know, with the Ram. My 2020, I got it from a GM dealer.
Yeah.
Not a problem, but if I wanted to take my shit to them to do the manifold, and they, honest to God, the first time I talked to the tech, he almost laughed. Not the tech, the service writer. May as well have laughed in my face.
Why is that?
He didn't handle it well at all. I think it was more so because he didn't want to do the footwork to get it where it needed to go.
Yeah.
He knew automatically that that's something that the dealership's going to have to deal with, and he didn't want to factor in the footwork he was going to have to do to get it input to his system. I can't remember what the word is, but basically process it over to the Dodge dealership and have them deal with it. It's a lot of paperwork and footwork.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he didn't want to do it.
Yeah. And you get service advisors like that just don't want to do the job.
Because weirdly enough, the truck that Jason had, same issue. Same truck, actually. He bought his at the GM dealership across the street from where I bought mine, and they had his truck done and back in 2 days.
Yeah.
After shipping it to the Dodge dealer, brought it back, and he picked it up there.
Yeah.
But same idea.
Well, and I can see where something like that, why your service advisor didn't want to do it, because it seems like they have a procedure in place where they ship it out to the other dealer.
They have to. And I can't think about the fucking word, but for something like that, they have to.
And so for them, the service advisor has to do work that he's not getting paid for. Because unless the vehicle gets repaired at the facility, he's got nothing to charge for.
Mm.
So he is doing footwork to take your vehicle out somewhere.
You don't think that that's something he could upcharge through the warranty and maybe find a little cash on the back end? Because in that case, I wasn't paying a deductible.
Yeah.
So that might be his money.
No. So, the warranty company is going to pay the hourly labor rate. And when all the dealerships have the same hourly labor rate, you can't just be higher than everybody else.
I see.
So they're like right now, I took in a Hyundai. We're a Dodge dealership. I took in a Hyundai because it was purchased at our USA store, which sells a lot of off-brand vehicles.
Yeah, they do.
They bought a warranty through us, and so it's our warranty. So they brought it to the dealership they essentially purchased it from, which is fine. I brought the vehicle in. Needs a motor. But there's an extended warranty through Hyundai to cover the motor if it meets certain parameters. So I took in this vehicle, and we actually just shipped it off today to Hyundai so they can inspect it. If it passes the inspection, then it comes back, and I do our warranty procedure, and I warranty out the motor that way. But if it fails their inspection, obviously, if it meets the criteria for engine replacement through Hyundai, then Hyundai's going to replace the motor, and I don't see a dime of that.
I mean, I don't know.
So when a dealership, it sounds like the dealership that you bought your truck from has a procedure in place that they specifically don't work on off-brand vehicles, that they must ship them out. Then yeah, the service advisor doesn't make any money off of you coming in to get your car repaired. But, that's...
I don't think it was necessarily that extreme. We were just talking about if it was the problem that it was.
Yeah.
That if that was the case, then he was like, we're not going to do it here.
Yeah. But I take in vehicles all the time that are off-brand, and I fix them at my own dealership. But there are some times where, you take in a vehicle and you have to ship it out.
So you're chalking it up to it's the nature of the business, handle it?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be a service advisor and just give somebody bad attitude. I mean, what if the next car they buy happens to be the brand that your dealership sells?
Right. Yeah.
Now they have a vehicle they can bring to you, but you've burned that relationship already.
That's what I was going to say. That's where relationship building comes into play, is when you have somebody trustworthy that can walk you through this shit. And like I said, and that's why I fought so hard. I didn't want to go back to him because he was like, basically like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And I understand it, but on the same token, like as a tow truck driver, I'm in it for the good calls, for the long hauls, for the good paying jobs. Sure, but there is sometimes where I have to do shit that doesn't pay me shit.
Yeah.
There is sometimes that some people just plainly need help, and we're just going to do it. And you're going to eat it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. You can't always just be in everything for the money.
Yeah.
So, I think you're 100% right, and it's nice to know that in a position where I would say probably like a good like 60, 65, 70% of people really have no knowledge in that industry. They're walking into the situation fucking blind. Most people don't even know about half the maintenance that needs to happen on a vehicle. It's super important for them to be treated like a fucking human.
Yeah.
By their service writer, which would be you. I would 100% call you if I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. And like these people, they bought a used Hyundai this time. But there's a reason they came to our dealership. Maybe next time they're in a better place, or they choose to buy a Mopar product, and I'll be their service advisor.
What says they don't fucking come to you and ask you?
Yeah.
What's a good car?
Yeah, what car should I buy?
Right. That's a big step. So.
And if you can do that, then you get a kickback from the sales department.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. If you can convert people from the car they're in to another brand new vehicle, the sales department gives you a kickback.
Fuck, just put me out there with a sign. I'll convert people for you. That's fucking cool, though. I didn't know that. Oh, man, that's great. Well, that's... So, at that point, now I'm like, why wouldn't you want to develop a good relationship with every person you deal with?
Yeah. Ultimately, that's the goal. You get a couple of Karens in here now and then.
It's going to happen.
That you just can't develop a relationship with.
Right.
They come in and they believe that things are the way they are, and you're not going to change their mind.
You're not wrong.
But you have those people in every line of business.
It's literally everywhere. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
I get them sometimes. Sometimes I have, just like you said, and it doesn't matter what I do or what I say, how I present myself, there's always somebody that's going to tell me how to do my job.
Yeah. And the great thing is that most of the people that are trying to tell you how to do your job have never done your job.
100%.
And know nothing about it.
Right. It is the nature of the world, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But wow, it was kind of cool that you closed it. We had a big dealership woe talk, and at the end of the day, at the end of this conversation, the biggest thing to take away from everything that you said is the longevity of the relationships that you build can ultimately be the best thing for you and for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's super notable, and that's super admirable for you to do, because like I said, you're fighting a salesman or how real you can be.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking battle.
Yeah.
Any true person that has a sales job is going to know that what you're doing is a lot harder than being a salesman.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's the thing is, sales guys, they only have to make you like them for that, 30 minutes, an hour. Maybe you're a tough to deal with customer and you're there for a couple of hours.
right.
The sales guy only has to make you like him for that long.
That's all he cares about.
Because once he gets that sale, he knows you're not coming back for 3 or 4 years, at least. And in this market, he knows you're not coming back in 5 to 7. As a service advisor, you know that, depending on how much they drive, they're going to be back either every 2 months or 6 months, or at least, every year.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come back and see somebody.
And with that relationship, they're gonna lean on you.
Yeah.
So
And that's if nothing goes wrong. If it's just maintenance, minimum they have to come see you every year. Just because any longer and the fluid starts to degrade.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are driving 5,000 miles a month, so they're coming to see you every 2 months.
Yep. Just all matters what they do.
Yeah.
Well, man.
So,
Well,
but yeah, if you build a relationship, everybody wins. If you're a sales guy, you win. But what did you win?
money,
Yeah.
which is shit.
You won short-term money.
Short-term money. That's 100% true. You can, for the people listening, you can use that any relative way to your life. Twist it and turn it however you need. That's pretty vaguely spoken, well enough to where I'm pretty sure you can put that in any way that's relatable to you. It is for me. It is for him especially, and for anything that you do. A long-term relationship's going to provide stability in a lot of different ways for you and for the person. So, be a fucking human. Like he said, he's just being human with him. Be a fucking human for once. It's good for you. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It was a good fucking circle.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No. Happy New Year for everybody out there.
Happy fucking 2024.
Yeah, we made it another round, another circle around the sun.
Yeah. I was gonna ask that another question, but that's another episode of why the fuck we celebrate that. I don't know, man.
Because it's astronomical odds.
I guess.
Got a 1 in a billion chance to make it around the sun. I mean, we do it every year, so we kind of take it for advantage. But it's kind of spectacular when you. This will have to be another episode. But
That's a whole nother episode.
When you look at why we're here, how we're here, it's pretty special. There's only one planet Earth.
Oh, you're definitely coming back for that one. But thank you for coming back, man.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I love talking to you. This was a good one. That's going to be a good one. And, as always, like, follow, subscribe. Please subscribe on Spotify and YouTube. We're back on YouTube now. fresh new videos coming. So you'll get notified every single time we drop, which is 2 times a week. Every time you subscribe, I'll get that little ding on your phone. Don't worry about you. I got you. So thanks, everybody. Oh, for everybody still listening, I can't see my cursor. There it is. Goodbye.
Goodbye.